When you start a decal business or any business at all, you're just another business of the bunch. However, we're going to give you some tips that might help you make some sales, because we're going to show you how effective is social media for making sales, especially when during slow days. So we're going to give you some tips on how to be different than the competition, because sometimes that is all that it takes, because remember, you're just another business of the bunch. And of course, we're going to show you the installation process and everything you need to start a decal business if this is something that interests you. So make sure you stick around, and of course, like this video and subscribe. So let's say that you have a vinyl cutter and you want to sell vinyl signs. One of the things that we sell a lot in our local area are vinyl signs for doors on businesses like this. But make sure you take a good picture shot of your project, so that way later on you can use it to make sales posts, because whenever we make a sales post on Facebook groups like classifieds, it never misses. It always grabs the attention of people when we take shots like this. Look at all the leads that we got just from July and June. It is like they're drawn by this type of images. And the reason is, whenever we make sales posts, we always focus on selling one product. So that way people get a clear image of what you're offering or selling. But as we mentioned in our most recent live stream, always focus on the effectiveness of your customer's sign. Always give them advice and recommendations on how to make their sign more effective. And the reason is, if you do that, the customer will notice that you care for his business and for the effectiveness of his sign. And he will see you as a professional business, and he will come back for sure. Trust me.
Before we start cutting the vinyl, we are trying to figure out how to do this installation, and in the end we decided to do without any registration marks. Since we have like the outline, we're just going to place the red color on top, and we're going to do a wet application, and the same with the bottom. So we're going to use our homemade solution. Sometimes we use the rapid tag, but we are trying to save money. And by the way, we have a video where we show you how to make this homemade solution. If you want to learn how we did it, make sure you check out our channel. And the type of vinyl that we are going to use is our favorite, the Oracle 651. And since we already inspected the surface and it's in perfect shape, we decided to use the Arte Clear Choice AT75.1. If you have damaged paint, make sure you use a low tag transfer like the one we just acquired, the paper transfer. This one's lower tag. And the type of vinyl cutter we're going to use, our favorite, the Graphtec CE 6060.
We're going to give our Cameo a break. Let's get started.
Yes.
All right, Saul is about to align the vinyl with the Graphtec. If you haven't watched our videos, or if you are new to this channel, we use these little lines here. We pay attention and see how much it moves, and I think that's good there.
Yeah, we're ready to send it.
And while we figured out how to get started, we're going to talk about the main topic, which is sales and social media. Like this post, Saul made this post on Facebook. As we mentioned, guys, always join your local groups like sales groups, classifieds. That's where we make sales. And Saul made this post right here.
Here's a perfect example of a picture. We try to use different formats. Like this one is like a square. I think it's like 1,000 by 1,000. And even though we didn't use this as a main picture, because whenever we post or try to make a sale on Facebook, we try to focus in just one product. And this one gets a lot of attention. Every time we use it, we get a lot of likes, and people react to it. And that's another tip that you should definitely consider doing. Another thing that I recommend that you guys do, try to post something in the morning, and if you can, like noon, and then at nighttime, because I would assume that some customers are not going to be on Facebook in the morning, some are going to be at night. We're going to start weeding out. I added the weed box. I'm going to start with the easiest section. Our setting seems to be almost perfect.
If you have the power to design your customer's design, try to always choose a very like bold font, or a font that's not too thin. So that's
something friendly to weed out.
Yes, always keep in mind when it's time to weed out how difficult it's going to be before you send your customer the design.
And this is the reason why we apply those weed boxes, to make it easier to without bisections, just like the way I'm doing it right now.
X
Oops,
came
I
off.
almost messed up. See, this is what I meant. All right, I didn't mess it up. I was able to save it. And I'm gonna keep winning out.
And guys, if you're liking this video, we encourage you guys to, of course, hit the like, subscribe if you're new. If you want to learn about this business, we have a lot of amazing content, not only decals, but t-shirts, yard signs, vinyl banners, car magnets. So check out our channel.
We had a very small accident. I mean, it didn't really turn out to be an accident, almost. But when this happens, if you can see the vinyl unrolled, sometimes it gets a lot of tension, like the vinyl. And I've noticed that the vinyl cutter struggles to cut the vinyl, and sometimes that will give you a headache because the letters won't be perfect like the way they're supposed to be. But this is a huge difference when it comes to vinyl, the cameo cutters and the graphic. Like with this, I've noticed that sometimes there's a lot of tension and nothing happens. Like we are able to save the decal, unlike the camera cutters. Like they will stop completely. They will just stop cutting the vinyl completely.
All right, now that we finished weeding out all the vinyl that we're gonna need for this project, it is time to apply the transfer. And we're gonna do it, the both of us. So we're gonna use the big roll that Saul has there. But if you don't have enough help, or if you work by yourself, you can get the application rollers that will help you apply your own transfer to your decal. Here's all the decals that we're gonna use for this project, and we calculated around 20 square foot of material, and our investment was around $38. And here's our decal calculator, and we're gonna get a roundup number of how much we can charge based on all the information that we fill in. So as I mentioned, we calculated around 24 square foot of material. We estimated around 3.5 hours of cutting the design and the application. We're gonna charge 5% of complexity fee, and the setup fee $50 since this is a new customer. And the calculator told us to charge around $530, and that is exactly how much we charge for this project. So if you want to use this decal calculator, you can do so by joining the Gold membership. You can go down on this video, or you can go through our website and click on Get Gold Membership. It will take you right to the memberships available. You can choose the one that fits perfectly for your needs.
We're gonna clean the surface, but the first thing that we did, even before we start cutting the vinyl, we went and did an inspection of the surface, and it's in great shape. There was a small sticker here that I removed, and I used the goof off, and now it's time to clean the surface, and we're gonna use our homemade solution. This will save us a lot of money instead of using Rapid Tag. We already positioned our decal. We measured it. This is exactly where we're gonna place it. We're gonna use the little magnets to save money. We're not gonna waste that much tape, and we'll also use our cutting knife. Remember that you can get all the products and equipment through our website, that is www.rdidecals.com, or the links will be in the description of the video. Since we are using the high tag transfer, it's really easy to lift the vinyl from the backing paper. We have set it. The only downside is that when it gets too hot, sometimes we get lots of wrinkles on our decal. So far, we don't have to worry about that.
And also, it's not that windy today, because wind can be one of your worst nightmares.
This is one of the challenges when it gets really hot. Like sometimes you can get wrinkles, but what we can easily do here, we can probably apply some of that solution if we want to finish it with that, which we're gonna keep on doing dry application. See, let me show you right now. We're getting lots of wrinkles since we already exposed the decal to the sun. And here we got a little wrinkles too that we're gonna fix later on, but we're gonna switch. We're gonna do a wet application instead of a dry, which it works perfectly fine since we're not doing it on glass. We don't have to worry about that. Don't worry about this little wrinkle. We're gonna fix that. So just spray enough of that since it's getting really hot. We don't have to worry about this. That's the good thing about using Oracle 651, that you can switch, like you can do a wet application. I mean, you just gotta be careful on what surface you are working on, but like this surface is very friendly to do a wet or a dry application, especially when it's hot like today. We're gonna start removing the transfer, and We got to take care of those little wrinkles, which is not going to be a big deal. Honestly, guys, we have been through this so many times. It's very unpredictable how the materials are going to react when the temperature goes up like today. I think the reason why that happened, it was my mistake, because I switched like the way I was applying the vinyl, and I switched to the sides. But that's the reason why we got those little wrinkles. I did it on purpose just to show you the challenge.
Don't believe him.
This
is Saul being just Saul.
Yeah, I was a little reckless, but I just wanted to make sure that Luis gets a challenge and see how he fixes those, because I know you guys are gonna go through those too. He's just gonna lift it, the letter, and just apply it back.
You gotta do it carefully, because remember, we did this dry application. If you don't feel completely safe, you can use some of that solution, but I mean, no biggie. See that? All right, now we're gonna remove the the paper from the transfer. Just go crazy with it, no worries, it's hot. Just in case you mispositioned the first time, you can try again, see that? In case you did it wrong, you can lift it again. But you gotta make sure you put enough, and don't worry if it's too wet. Some people ask if the solution affects the adhesive. It shouldn't, and at least with Oracle 651, it shouldn't affect the adhesive. So just make sure you let it dry enough time then before you remove it.
All right, things are getting serious. The temperature, or I should say, I underestimated the weather. It's getting really hot. Now we're gonna do a wet application. I'm glad that we are going to do it this way. It's not windy, so that's always a good thing. And this is covering it with plenty of that solution. Now we are going to...
I'm thinking that maybe we should divide it in two sections, because sometimes when it's too long, it doesn't match perfectly.
We can try.
I think we can divide it in two sections. What do you say?
Let's try this like this. That way we don't have to guess it. Here looks good.
All right, so we're gonna do it my way, because I noticed
it's gonna be a better idea, honestly.
And I'm doing this because this has happened to us before. This will be a much safer approach.
I mean, like, just to make it clear, we could have done it even easier than this by doing the registration marks, but sometimes when you are busy and you don't have time to apply those registration marks, which in the end it will be a lot better, because...
I mean, I don't want to contradict Saul's statement, but sometimes even when you put the registrations, they don't match perfectly. For some reason, I guess when you pull the transfer too much, or you try too many times, it stretches and it doesn't match anymore. But I don't think it will make a difference.
Whatever works for you, you know. I mean, if you guys been doing this, I'm pretty sure you get an idea what works best. Sometimes depends on the surface and all that, but I mean, it's a good point. All right, I'm gonna start removing this. It should be safe to do so, because I mean, it's really hot.
We're now removing the transfer, and it was so easy to remove it since it's getting super hot. Look at that beautiful job right there.
We hadn't done this in a little bit. I gotta say or admit that sometimes when we don't do this for a bit, like, I feel a little awkward when doing one like this, you know, and that's why I messed up a little bit when
we feel like rookies again.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. That's the way I feel.
But look at, I mean, it's still professional. We still try to do a good job.
And this is how the project looked at the end. So remember, guys, if you want to learn more about this business, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. We will see you guys again pretty soon. Thank you so much.